the world is always going to be changing, but I think the one thing that we've got to be excited about is each other's success. How can we, if it's not happening right now for you, how can you find it through somebody else? How can you make sure we're building each other up? Because there's people that are doing that. That will rub off. That's why you come to this room, is you come here because you want to network, you want to build, you want to figure it out, you want to develop and get where you want to get from this business.
All right, hey, it's November the 14th, and we're super excited about you joining today. Thanks so much for coming to our virtual training today. Everything about leadership is what we're gonna be talking about today. So I don't care if you're sitting there going, man, I don't have anybody in my team yet. You will. Here's why. We're talking about over 80% of people, if it's a Gen Z or a millennial right now, are looking for a side hustle, right? They're looking for a secondary income. They're looking for something that's gonna give them that extra little money that they might need as they're getting into 2023. So today, we want to kind of talk a little bit about that. So also, it goes back to the book also that we talk about, which is The Secret Is You, right? We talk about you got to lead yourself first, then the others will kind of follow. And that's the most important thing. So today, as we get into this, we're going to talk a little bit about leadership. We're going to talk about what is it that you should be thinking about. If it's, hey, I'm leading myself, I'm leading a team of one, or I'm kind of reconnecting, I'm kind of starting with my team again. These are all things that I want to make sure that you're ready to rock and roll with. Now, I always like to start off with the mission because I think it's important. Because I think it's really important to understand when we're talking to anybody. And it's a great way for every one of you to start your team meetings because you always got a third of the people that are kind of working, a third of the people that are kind of like, I'm not quite sure what's going on, and you have a third of the people that are coming in that are brand new. So when you think about this, is we always provide a very, very safe environment for people to come and explore and talk about their sexual health and wellness. That is what we do, and we do it so well. We're doing it if it's a party setting, we're doing it if it's an online setting, we're doing it in multiple ways if it's just a person-to-person conversation. And I think that that's a very important thing to always remember. That's why if you look at our website, our mission's on the website, all right? Because I think people have to understand in today's world, what is exactly that we do at Pure Romance. We just aren't just that company that, always is having fun, right? We like to have fun with everything, but we do have serious conversations. We do have a lot of people that are searching for information and knowledge. That's why we were so, excited about when we launched Pro Academy. Pro Academy really gave us that really kind of boost about giving even more information to give you. So when your customers ask, you're able to help them to be able to solve some of the problems, enhance the relationship, and work on the two most important things why customers buy, either their pain or their pleasure. So again, making sure that the kind of mission always stays true, but also our vision. And our vision is always to be the global leader in sexual health and wellness products. That's going to be there. It's going to make sure that we're leading with technology. We're leading with the ways in which we develop. We're always looking to say, hey, what is this company really doing? That's why when you look at where we're at, not just in the United States, but also Mexico, if you're looking at, we'll be in Colombia here in 2023, Canada, New Zealand and Australia. And it is true. We want to lead with becoming the best at what we do. That's why when we look at the products that we bring in, yes, we sell a high quality product. We're never going to sell something that is, inferior, or something that's, going to be something that when people talk about you or your brand, that they go, oh my gosh, Pure Romance does not make the best products. No, we want them to stand up every time and go, you know what? They do make the best products. Now, is there always going to be a situation? Yes, there's going to be something that will come up, like in any product. Will you make 100% of the customers happy? No, no. I take my mom to dinner. My mom's never happy at dinner. And it's a great restaurant. I'm just joking, Mom. But you know what I'm saying? There are people that you take out, and it doesn't matter if you take them to the best restaurant in the world, they will find a problem with it. It's just what it is. But our whole thing is to constantly make sure that we're evolving and making sure that we're leading with technology and bringing you the best. That's why we are awesome. I can't wait for our new product launch. It's going to happen January 7th, the Super Saturday. And if you haven't registered, it's up now. Go register. It's going to be a fantastic event. If you're looking to get your passion back, ignite your business, to be able to re-energize yourself, you're going to want to be there, at Super Saturday, on January 7th. Look at all the markets that will be available. It is only an in-person event. As I talked to a lot of leaders, they were sitting there going, we want to make sure that this event is something that we can really get everybody there and really bring that energy back so new people that have never been to a regional meeting can feel that energy, feel that passion, feel that team, feel that camaraderie. And that's exactly why we're going to be doing that, in January 7th, Super Saturday. But also, that's where we're going to kick off some brand new products. Brand new products. And that will be a great thing because you're going to be able to see our new Ultra Soft Touch line, which was really, your leadership was very involved in giving back feedback, going through the products, and working with our product development team here in town. So that's exactly why you want to make sure you're getting registered, because that will show you again why Pure Romance is leading the way when it comes to real new products, technology, and also listening to what the customer's needs are at this time. Now, tonight, leader, we could talk about this in a couple different fashions. We could talk leader as leading yourself, leader as leading others, having others follow you, and here is what it is. A leader is someone who inspires passion and motivates followers, all right? And I think that that's a big piece, is a leader is someone who inspires, okay? Passion and motivates in followers, right? Like, we want to make sure that I'm constantly thinking to myself, how do you inspire passion? If it's, going and having one-off conversation with somebody and they're like, man, you really got me focused again. I was feeling the same way that you're feeling, or man, I didn't know that was a direction that I could go in with my life, with my business, with my family. Our goal as leaders aren't to do the work for people. Our work is to really kind of inspire them to do the work. And I know that's sometimes kind of hard in a world that we live in today where a lot of people are very uninspired, right? I was uninspired. Some of you guys probably been watching my journey. I've been talking a little bit about me getting back in the gym. I can't believe how many people. I could post that I am on this beautiful place. I could post that I'm having this beautiful dinner. I can post any of these things, but when I post something about me going through a struggle, because it's real, I'm not lying, it's not the fake book, it's not the Insta lie, it's really, I'm just authentic, right? Like, I can't believe that how many people write me back and say, you're inspiring me, that you have to restart your whole workout process and your whole gym process again. And other people are like, man, I need to do this too. I didn't want to go to the gym the other day. But that's the thing. We can do things that inspire other people. It doesn't need to always be these glitz and glamour and all this other stuff that's out there. It's little simple things that people are looking for that ignites that passion or gives them motivation. My whole motivation and my whole passion about it was I was watching somebody else. And I'm like, man, if they can restart and they can re-go at it, why can't I? But it's also, too, it's a great thing to think about from leadership, because there's a lot of you that probably need to restart, reignite. Not maybe in the workout phase, maybe you're doing a great job, maybe you're doing a really good job in the health side of it, but maybe it's your business when you start thinking about how do I restart, how do I re-energize myself, where do I find that passion? And I'm hoping today that, with this conversation today, that some of you are like, man, this inspires me. You're right, I need to go back out there and do it. I need that motivation, because if you get motivated, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna get motivated, and then your followers that are underneath you, or the people that you aren't on your team yet that do wanna follow you because you're posting good stuff, you're talking positive, you're excited about where you're going. Not lying, because there's a lot of fake fun that's out there in the world. I talked about that a couple weeks ago on Rise and Grind. The fake fun is true. Be authentic, be true, because that's what's going to inspire people. The world is so filtered out right now that the more you can be authentic, and you hear this all the time, being authentic is going to be the biggest piece for people to want to be following you. Yes, they're always going to follow all the other groups that are out there. You're going to have different people will follow the different the influencers. You're going to have the different people that are going to follow all the different things. My wife follows people because some of them are just train wrecks and she likes to watch it. But as a leader, we have to make sure we're thinking this. A leader is someone with a vision and a path right? That's the biggest thing. And when I think about even myself, for a while, for the last couple of months, it was like, not going to the gym. I didn't feel like I had a path. I didn't feel like I was, what am I trying to accomplish here? And I just kind of, sometimes you have to sit back, and I do think life just happens. And, instead of it, I got out of the biggest thing that I should have been dealing with is I should have stuck to my routines. See, that's the biggest thing as a leader. The one thing that we can create is routines. The one thing that we can crush is routines. And I think that I got out of my routine. I got out of it. And the reason I got out of that routine is because I didn't have the path anymore. I didn't know what my vision was. I didn't know what my plan was. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. And I will tell you this, now that I was able to kind of repath myself and revision myself, I'm now saying, okay, I know why this routine is so important, because I want to get to here. I want to get to, so if you want to kind of correlate this to business, if you want to go out and sell $100,000 a year, right? What is your path? But first you have to think about that vision. What is that outcome that you're trying to go after? And everything that you do to get that outcome is that path that's going to lead up. My whole thing is, look, I wasn't starting to feel good again. And I know myself. And somebody's like, well, why don't you just do Pure 21? And that's the easy way to do it and kickstart it. I live on that Pure 21 diet most of the time. I need the workout in my life because I feel better when I'm getting up at 5 a.m. I feel better when I get that time frame in for myself. I also have to do that same thing with my business because I feel better when the company's going like this. I feel better when we have new people coming into the business. It's important because I've had a lot of leaders walk up to me lately and they were like, Chris, I've just been focusing on me. I've just been focusing on me. I'm not out there to motivate people. I'm not out there to inspire people. I'm not out to do anything. I am just focusing on my sales because that's what you told me to do. And I said, you know what? I did tell you to focus on your sales. I did tell you to focus on your business. But can I ask you a question? How do you feel about being a team leader today? How do you feel about leading others? How do you feel about leading yourself? You know what the answer was? Overwhelmingly. It was like, you know what? I'm just staying in my own lane. Interesting. I said, can I ask you a question? What if the person that invited you to the business, 8 years, some of the ones I was talking to have been in for 15 years. What if that person just stayed in their lane and didn't offer you this opportunity that you have today? How different would your life have been? Different. I was struggling. I wasn't being able to make my bills. This business has saved my life. But can I ask you a question? It was able to change your life, right? You were able to do something with it. And you had skeptics at that time, didn't you? Oh my God, I had skeptics. My mom never thought I was going to make it. My dad didn't think I was going to make it. Nobody thought I was going to be able to do anything with it, right? I said, there's skeptics all the time. There's skeptics back in the 80s. There's skeptics in the 90s. There's skeptics in the 2000s. There's skeptics in the 2002s, 2022s. There's always skeptics. But that person didn't just stay in their lane. That person offered you opportunity. They didn't offer you a paycheck. They offered you an opportunity. And for you to stop that, there is a graduating class every year. And so you know that this business can work. You know this business is not for everybody, right? Because there's been a lot of people over your 8 to 15 years you've brought in the business and they've just fizzled out or they never did anything or that kit might be collecting dust, whatever it might be. But at least the thing that you did is you offered that. And for you to stay in your same lane and to see your life changing, you're letting a group of people in a graduating class every month, every year fade away from an opportunity that once changed yours. And you have to sit back and think, well, maybe it's not doing all the things you needed to do for your family right now. Maybe your business isn't where you want it to be. And that's why some people feel down or they feel like, man, I just don't know what's going on. Can I tell you something? We got to quit feeling sorry for ourselves right now because this is just the world that we're living in. Our friends feel sorry for ourselves. Our friends feel sorry for themselves. But we got to get out of that. Here's what leaders really need to be. A leader just equals this. It's a great consultant. And a great consultant is somebody that's going to go out there and take care of their customers. They're going to take care of their team, the people that they bring in. They're going to show value every day that they do something with going out there and selling the business. Selling the business. And that the business is, hey, I'm going to sell the business of people being able to come in and have an opportunity here, or sell the business, which is the products that this business offers, or sell the education that comes along with this business. All of that is what you're selling every day. Because you have to sell. And people are like, I don't want to be a seller. No, can I tell you, you're either a seller or you're a buyer. That's how it works. There isn't a kind of a middle. You're either selling all the time, you're buying all the time, or you're selling 50% of the time or buying 50% of the time. Think about your kids. Your kids are the best sellers in the world. Hey mom, I want to stay out late tonight. Why? Well, now they're selling. That's a sale. You know, my kids are like, hey, I need an extra 20 bucks. Well, why do you need an extra 20 bucks? I just don't go, oh, here, take the 20 bucks because, you know, it's great. They have to sell me on why that is. You're going to have to sell people on why they should go work. You're going to have to sell people on why they should buy from you. You're going to have to sell people on why this information is so important. That's just how it works, right? Every day, you not only go out there and sell, but you're also sharing the information that you learn from your team, the team meetings, from the people that motivate you, from the people that you surround yourself. It's stories that come from our community. And then you repeat it. Being a great consultant. Being a great consultant. So if you're sitting here tonight, and that's the biggest reason I wanted to kind of do this virtual, because I was like, you know what? How many people are going to be able to tag on tonight? How many people are going to be like, oh my gosh, you got to go back and watch tonight because I needed that. I need it tonight because I needed it more because I was in the same situation. I was like, I need a reset. Not all the time is it a rebuild. A rebuild is at the end. That's why I put at the end of that slide. Sometimes it's a reset. Sometimes it's a reboot. Sometimes it's just a restart, refresh. And that's okay. You're allowed to have those moments where you go out there and you restart or reboot. You know, refresh. That's normal. Because sometimes repetition, or we get burned out, or we we just need some time, or we recalculate the things that we go out there and do. It happens. It happens all the time. The thing I think we have to remember is there is nothing you do in leadership that falls out of these characteristics of life. And what I mean by that is when you look at this, you know, our body, that was the one thing of leadership I wasn't doing for myself. I was not taking care of my body. My passion, my relationship, you know, with my kids, my relationship with my wife, that's all working well. That is, it could be better. My kids and my family, my wife and I just celebrated 18 years. Awesome. Those are all great things. But I also had this whole thing, which was my purpose. You know, sometimes in this business, you will get a lot of outside people. You know, when things aren't going right in the world, everybody wants to blame somebody else for their issues. And that's what I've been dealing with, right? I was dealing with this as a leader, which I know some of you have been dealing with the same thing. My business isn't working. Let me blame you. Instead, because people don't ever take responsibility for their issues or their failures, it's always easier to put that onto somebody else. And you got to think, when you have a big business or you have a couple people in your organization, it doesn't really matter. It hurts the same way. And you lose that focus. You lose that purpose of why you do what you do. Or you don't lose the focus, it just becomes less of a priority. And it becomes that you're like, wow, maybe I need to focus more on my relationship with my kids. It's easier, it's safer, they love me, right? You get more here, more feel-goods here, and that's it. Some people throw themselves, when the thing is not going well with their business, they throw themselves in one of those other cores. It's either their body, I'm gonna work out because I'm not getting the production that I need, I'm not feeling it with my business, I gotta find it in one of these other cores. But all of these cores work together. And I think that's the important thing that we have to remember. So lead the self first. That's why we look at, even when I wrote the book, you know, Secret is You, you know, and a lot of people sit back and go, you know, that was great because I figured the same thing. I need to lead myself first. I lead myself first before you can lead others well. And that's the biggest thing. And that I wasn't doing some of the things that I needed to do too either. You know, I went to the Leadership Summit this year. I was very quiet. If you were there, I appreciate you being there. It was a fantastic event, probably life-changing for a lot of us, right? Because there's so much good information that we were able to walk away with. And I know you're going to be back when we do the next one in Cincinnati in 2023, because I will tell you right now, the dates are already on the calendar. It's the first week in August. It's like replacing national training because we know it's that important. I thought when we looked at that day, it was so important because you have to remember, and I think a lot of us had the aha moments when we started thinking about, man, we do have to lead ourselves. What are the things that we are doing that we could do better? What are the things that we could do with our organizations that are better? And that became, going back, and it was self-evident of how we are so important to how our team operates is also how we operate. The people that follow us, the people that we influence, the people that we, inspire, the people that we motivate. And sometimes you've got to remember, people will fall out of, inspiration and motivation, not because of you. They just aren't inspired by anything. And most things don't motivate them anymore. And you take that so personally. You know why? Because there's no difference between me and you. We're both flesh and blood. We both hurt the same. We both have the same things that go on. Some people are like, well, you're kind of a robot. No, my kids think I'm a robot. But that's the thing we have to remember, is that we have to lead. And that's why I was like, I had to get back in the gym. I had to do the different things for me, because I also have to feel motivated every day to do the things that I have to go out and motivate for others. And I got to fill my cup up, and every day I start with an empty cup. Every day I do. And every day I start with that empty cup, because my whole thing is I want other people and other things I do to fill it up, fill it up, fill it up, fill it up. So then I feel that I can give as much back to the people that follow or look up or sit back and go, man, I thank you for the motivation today. Thank you for doing what you do today. You know what? And I will tell you, sometimes, you go from having so many people liking everything that you do and so many people thinking, oh my God, this is great, to then you get less and less because maybe people have fanned out of Facebook, fanned out of Instagram, fanned out of all the different stuff. And you see like, oh my gosh, I'm losing people on my team. I'm losing people on my Instagram feeds. I'm losing people on this. And so what happens, you start feeling that loss. And you feel like your cup is like, it's actually lessening. I think leaders should start with an empty cup every day. And our goal is to fill that cup up with the things we read, the people that we surround ourselves with, the core of going out and working out, whatever it might be. We got to fill those cups up every day and tip that son of a bitch over that night and get ready to fill it up the next day. We can't live on a filled cup. Can't live on a filled cup. Your job is to fill it up every day. And that's why passion, purpose, and production are so important. Passion, purpose, and production are huge. I do think, though, too, it's not about how fast you do something, though, either, right? Some of you guys right now are like, man, I got to go do something because I'm racing for, 2023. I got to get ready. I think it's the same thing. You've been on a highway before, and you've been on the highway where all of a sudden you're going down the highway, somebody literally flies right past you and just cuts right in front of you, and then all of a sudden they're like weaving in and out of traffic, and then you get off of your exit, and there's only one car in front of you. You've been there before, don't you? I think too many people are in a rush in this world. I think sometimes, my wife said to me the other day, she's like, Chris, she goes, I feel like sometimes I'm making decisions like, and they're just bad decisions. And she goes, I think sometimes what you do is you make fast decisions. I think too many times in business owners and people like that, when things aren't going the way or the direction, or even when you're at your peak and you're doing amazing and everything's going your way, I think sometimes you rush. I think sometimes we make bad decisions because we don't take the time to really do the work that needs to be done. And what happens is everybody's just looking to you to make a decision, or you're looking to make the decision for yourself because it's for the bank account or for whatever you might need to be doing. That's why when you look at rowing, kind of like putting simple systems together, right? Like, how do I do things to make things easier, simple? And systems are something that, will help you make better decisions or give you guidance where you feel like everything is a rush and you're like, all this chaoticness is around you. You got kids, you got businesses, you got significant others, you got community, you got friends. Everybody needs something from you. And you're like, oh my God, what do I need to do? What can I do differently? Because all you do is you look on Instagram and Facebook and you see people like this. You see Lilian Martinez or Sarah Nelson or Brianna Sorsen or Claudia Sanchez, and you see all these people like, man, why can't I get to that? I mean, like up 621% retail or 123% retail. You know, I see all these things that are going out there, and I go back to what is the one common goal that all of them have that I might be missing in my own business? It goes back to this. Well, Chris, I know that it goes back to this. I've seen this every time. I've been in Pure Romance 8 to 10 years. I know to sell, I know to share, I know to repeat. I might have been in for 8 days. This was helpful information. I know that possibilities are I can have a big business. I could be somebody that's going out there and selling, you know, $1 million a year if I want to, because I'm going to sell, share, and repeat it. The average person right now in the business does this a month, right? That's what they do a month. And you sit back and you go, okay, what do you do if you want to have a great party? Right? A lot of us say the same thing. What do you tell your hostesses if you want to have a great party? You say the same thing to them. Like, you got to come up with this. If you go back to Lily, you go back to Sarah, or you go back to Brianna, they have a system that they put in place because they know all these plates are spinning around them too. But here's the thing. We all know these things are happening, but you have to sit back and go, I want to find something that's very simple to me. What do I do? How do I do it well? How do I slow down? How do I make the most out of that moment? Same thing as this. It's kind of interesting. You know, if you rush through your hostess coaching, you're not probably going to have that great of a party, right? Same thing goes if you take your time and you do great hostess coaching, you're going to have a great party. Because you tell the hostesses exactly what to do. Or you give them ideas or suggestive ideas. You got to be thinking about this, the same thing. You know, when you look at your sponsoring message, what is your sponsoring message? Is it quality over quantity, or is it quantity over quality? I don't think there's an answer to this question today. I really don't. I think it's that you got to be able to offer this business opportunity to the people that want to come in and want to be able to say, I want to make a couple $100 if it's sharing a code, or if it's going out there and doing a party, or if it's going out there and social sell, or I got this great friend group, whatever it might be. Because at the end of the day, that is our goal. Our goal is to offer as much as we possibly can to people and give them the choice of, hey, you have the choices to decide what you want to do in this organization. And we know that 20% will probably never activate. We know that 30% will probably not ever do much. And then you're working with 50% of people. And out of that 50%, you know that 10% are actually going to probably do something that is amazing, outstanding, beating your expectations. And the rest are going to figure out what exactly that they need to do to be able to make that extra money that they're looking for. If it's $200 a week, $200 a month, whatever it might be. My goal is every time we go out there and look at it, I don't care if it's quality or quantity, I'm trying to get everybody to $700. That's what I'm trying to do. My whole goal is like anybody that gets in the business is that get them to making sure that they can make $700. Make, I didn't say sell, I said make $700. That was a big thing for me. So when we start looking at this, and that's why when we put all of the pay plans together and we start looking at everything, that's where we started going to this and started thinking, we have the social seller kit, our social seller, right? That person that's kind of just all she's doing is selling on, you know, TikTok, or she's selling on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. This is that person. And what did they have to do in a month? 22 orders, $110 average. We start looking at that. That's $2,000. That's somebody bringing in $726 a month. Like, all my goal ever was to make sure that we get everybody that was able to make $700 a month. $700 is way over what most people are looking to make right now. Now, you know, you're like, wait, way over what people are looking to make? Chris, $700, I couldn't even, this couldn't do anything for me. Pump the brakes. You're not everybody. You're probably watching this tonight because you want more. You're probably watching this tonight because you're like, $700 is just the start for me. $700 is my first day of the week, of the month that I get started in. I know that. But guess what? Everybody else that's first starting in here, $700 seems like the freaking, the Andes. It seems like, you know, K2, the biggest mountain in the world. That's what they think $700 is, but they only want to make $500. And that's what most Americans are short by right now, is $493 a month. So when you start looking at this, this is an important thing. So as a leader, we have to think about this. First, we have to think about what it is. We want a hostess coach to have a great party. We want to get a system that we have great people, because ultimately they will want to follow us and they want to be inspired by us, but they are also looking for a system. And that's why when we came up with 4-3-2-1, a lot of people are like, man, you haven't really been talking about 4-3-2-1 that much. No, because I gave the path. We need you as leaders to make sure that you're constantly doing this. And I said to the team the other day, I'm like, man, we got to make sure that we are talking about this more frequently, because people ask all the time, what do they need to do to be successful? And I'm like, this is just the start of success, because this is getting somebody to that $700 a month. That's really, in my mind, $700 is what I want them to be able to bring home to their family. And that's by booking 4 parties or holding 3 parties or selling $2,000 worth of product. And if you really boil the whole thing down, right? You're leaders, you're watching this tonight, and if you're not, you're going to be a leader. I'm going to let you to the inside of Pandora's box here. The 4 parties is awesome. The reason I like the 4 parties, I want them because I always know that something's going to probably fall out. But really what I'm looking to do is say, people are like, man, is it all about holding 3 parties? Yeah. It is about holding 3 parties. Yes, I love it, because it's not even about holding 3 parties. Is it about selling $2,000 a month? Yes. The thing with me on the 3 parties is it's just people that you're adding to your marketing lists. That's it. Because they are meeting you one-on-one. You're gaining rapport with them. You're gaining communication with them. That's why holding parties, everybody's like, I don't really want to hold parties. Well, I know that maybe some people don't. There's a lot of people that are like, shit, I want to hold parties because I love it. There's always going to be this yin and yang. There was this way even before, right? Like, it was even before when we would talk to other people like, man, I don't know if I can do parties. 8 parties was like, in 2019, that's all we talked about. 8 to 12 parties, right? That was like leadership. And the reason was they could sit back and they could build their databases for when they had flash sales. They would take the people that they met at parties, put them into their little VIP groups. They would be able to make sure that they had all of the different groups. So if somebody was interested in the business, everything they could do. That's why they came from the parties. Now, people have gotten savvy over the time frame, and they understand that it doesn't matter. I just need to sell $2,000. So when you look at it, it could be on something like this, which is 4 orders a week. 3 virtual parties, which 3 virtual parties, people meeting new people, putting them into your groups where you can market back to them, into your Facebook groups, into your Snapchat groups, into your, whatever it might be. They're friends with you on TikTok. But it still goes back to 4, 3, 2. 2 is the goal. 2 is to get somebody selling $2,000. And I remember a lot of leaders, when I presented this, like this concept at National Training, everybody's like, oh my God, I love 4, 3, 2, 1. Why? I got to get them booking 4 parties. Yes, the biggest thing though is get them booking 4 parties or having 4 orders a week. It doesn't matter to me, anything. The only thing that matters is the 2. The 2. Selling $2,000 a month. Why? Because that's really where they're going to start seeing the $700 coming back into them. That's really what it's going to do. The 1 is looking to get somebody just to sponsor. I want people to be able to have new people all the time in the business. It's important. We want a new group coming in. She's probably going to have people that she knows in her circle that need the business. In a business, meaning that they need the education. In the business, they need the product. In the business, they just might need a community to belong to. In the business, they might just need to be able to feel a part of something bigger and feel like they're giving back to their community. But we just didn't make this thing that it was just stopping at 4, 3, 2, 1, right? Because I even think as leaders, this is scalable for you. You have 8, 6, 4, 2, right? You have the ability to go to 12, 9, 6, 3. You have every ability to scale this, and this was just the system. So you might sit back and that's 12 orders, 9 virtual parties. You're averaging $6,000 in sales, and you're bringing on 3 new people in a month. Tell me I wouldn't want to follow you. Tell me that doesn't motivate me as somebody that's sitting there going, I want to earn $500. Motivates me, inspires me that there's more, gets me excited, because it's simple. It's simple for anybody that's in the business. It's simple for me as a leader with all of these spinning plates, with all this world that's around. It's like, what do I call and ask somebody about? It's 4, 3, 2, 1. How are you doing with your, you might not know, but she is maybe just doing 4 orders a week. Awesome, that's great. check in on her 4 orders a week, how she's doing with their 4, 3, 2, 1. You might have somebody that's over here that's doing the parties, so they might be like, hey, it's 4, 3, 2, 1. I booked my 4 parties for the month of November, or I booked my 4 parties for December. I'm hearing people are all the way now into January. I'm hearing parties are coming back for a lot of people are like, man, I'm super excited because my January's filling up. People after the holidays always need what? They need free products, so why not open up their house? They love to be able to earn some excess money during this time. 4, 3, 2, 1 is just this. It's a system that allows me as a leader to be able to have something that I talk about to people and they will start following it. But it's never going to be something as a leader, you need to be the one that's talking about how many orders are you, where are you at on your 4, 3, 2, 1? Where are you at on your 12, 6, or 12, 9, 6, 3? You gotta be the one that's doing this. And you got to be the one that's talking about it. It's got to be part of your vernacular. It's got to be part of your team culture. It's got to be part of something. And people are like, you know what? If you as a leader aren't doing it, right? Why would they do it? Because they don't know, because they're not inspired by it. Because you haven't inspired them with it. And that's okay. A lot of people now need to know, okay, man, this is a restart for me. I could think differently. Because if you start just taking that and putting the number into how many people in your first downline that you have, and they start doing that, and you're looking at your numbers, what are you helping them towards? Because as a leader, we've got to inspire them towards the $2,000. We've got to inspire them to taking on this. That's what we have to be thinking about. It 7X's most people's businesses out there. Why $2,000, right? That was the most curious thing I know people always asked, because that's where the pay plan kicks in. The free product, the personal website commissions, the monthly bonuses, the team bonuses, the incentives, the trips, everything like that come off of that $2,000. Now I know everybody's like, oh my gosh, hold up, right? You know what? Not everyone's gonna do this. Oh, no shit, no. I know not everybody's going to do this. Remember, everybody needs a path, right? They need the outcome. What is it? And then the path will take them there. I need to know that I'm going to feel better every day when I go to work out. I know I need to feel better. And what does this look like? I'm not going to sit back and go, man, I want to get the abs. That's maybe a picture up there. I want to make sure that I'm before the abs. I want to feel good though. I don't want to be sore when I wake up, right? That's my outcome. What's the path? And not everybody is going to get to the final outcome. But the path we put them on ensures that they're going to get part of the way on that path, part of the way of that outcome. $700. That's really what we're trying to get out there. That's 3 parties or 20 orders in a month. That's what we're trying to look for. Look, I want to come to you tonight, November the 14th. I want you to enjoy, being on this path that you're on right now. If you're on a reboot, restart, whatever, it doesn't matter. I think what we have to do is it's about this. It's re-engaging. That's why Super Saturdays, we're kicking off January the 7th. It's going to be amazing. Please get registered. It's $19.99. Okay, you're going to start seeing that there's going to be some really cool stuff that's going to be coming your way. You're going to start seeing that there's going to be things that are going to be seen, like as far as t-shirts coming your way. You're going to be seeing things that are going to be at the event that you're not going to want to miss out. I promise you, this is going to be a reset and a reboot and a re-energized place. It's going to ignite the people's passion that comes there, but we need collectively everybody to be there. You can't sit back and go, something else is important, because it can't be that important right now other than to figure out how you kick off your 2023. This is what you have to be doing. You need to set that time away for yourself to go get your knowledge, to go be around the people, to go see insights of what other people are doing with their business. It's going to be huge. So January 7th, don't miss it. Get registered. It's $19.99. You want to be there. Tonight. You're watching this right now. And if you are sitting there back going, man, I took a lot of information from this, great. You know what you need to do? Forward this on to somebody else. Say, you need to get here tonight, watch this. Or people need to download this and listen to it, because you know what? It really was something that has helped me. That leadership summit in Atlanta, I will tell you right now, was one of the best things that could have happened, because it really kind of reignited my thought process. It stopped me from feeling sorry for me. Because you're never going to run away from some of the critics, some of the people. Because I remember Brene Brown's, right? There's a lot of people that sit in the cheap seats and want to throw and talk shit. We as leaders can't get caught up in that. We have to be in the arena every day and commit to what we do. And that's committing to the game, committing to the battle that's out in front of us. If we knew the outcome, it wouldn't be much of a competition, would it? Every week, every day, we get into that arena and we fight to find out what the outcome for that day was. I want to make sure that you get registered for January 7th, but one of the other things too is I think a lot of people that have never been to a global summit, because remember, we haven't been able to do one in a while. Global Summit, it's in April. Get registered for this event. I know right now there is 10 payments that you can make for these different events that for our leadership, and that summit that's going to be in Cincinnati in August next year. I know that there's a payment plan for Global Summit. I know that there's maybe even a lot of people have been stuffing money in their bottle to be able, because people save money all year long to be able to come to Global Summit. But I will tell you right now, can you make 2023 about me, meaning you? Can't you make a year and say, you know what, this is the time frame that I'm gonna give back to myself in so many different facets because I need to find that better version of me. There's so many people right now that need to find the better version of themselves because they feel like they've been complacent, they feel like they've lost, they feel like they don't know the path that they need to be on. And could you imagine all of us doing it together? That's why kicking off the year, January 7th together. That's why I'm trying to do everything that we do with all kinds of leaders getting together, all types of people getting together, all types of levels of consultants get together, but also coming into Cincinnati and all of us seeing recognition together and getting excited for the people that have worked so hard for 2022. I appreciate you coming here tonight. I appreciate you doing your thing. If you liked everything that you saw tonight, make sure you put some things in the comments. I know that we'll be planning another one of these for December. I'll put that in the mix. And I know that you'll be getting so much communication because you're gonna all go register right now for January 7th. So good night from Cincinnati, Ohio. And I appreciate you being here today.
In the world is always going to be changing, but I think the one thing that we've got to be excited about is each other's success. How can we, if it's not happening right now for you, how can you find it through somebody else? How can you make sure we're building each other up? Because there's people that are doing that. That will rub off. That's why you come to this room, is you come here because you want to network, you want to build, you want to figure it out, you want to develop and get where you want to get from this business.